We have looked at aliens in the Bible elsewhere, so now we're going to look at giant aliens in the Bible specifically. The Bible happily describes heavenly beings taking human women. These giants are 3 to 4 meters tall. They are a whole new alien species which God decided, in his mercy and love, to try to wipe out in the Great Flood. Scientists tell us that it is easier to mate a human being with a daffodil than with an alien, as daffodils are at least from the same planet as us. This opens up questions of where we are from, including the missing link between apes and humans, but we'll leave that debate for another day. In the Bible there are various races called Nephilim, Anakim, and just giants. Let's start with Genesis 6:2. When man began to multiply on the face of the land and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of man were attractive, and they took as their wives any they chose. And a few verses later in Genesis 6:4, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of man and they bore children to them. These were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. In this verse, the original Hebrew says that these were the men of great names, but that doesn't make any sense, which is why they changed it to men of renown. We have seen from the Alien Jesus video that the ancient Hebrew word for name, Shem, has a dual meaning which can also mean sky vehicle or rocket. So these Nephilim could have been the men of great rockets as opposed to the men with great names. It's just a theory, so do your own research and make up your own mind on that one. Moving on to Numbers 13:33, and there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, who came from the Nephilim, and we seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers, and so we seemed to them. More mentions of giants come in Deuteronomy 2:10. A race of giants called the Emites had once lived in the area of Ar. They were as strong and numerous and tall as the Anakites, another race of giants. Deuteronomy 3:11. King Og of Bashan was the last survivor of the giant Rephites. His bed was made of iron and was more than 13 feet long and 6 feet wide. It can still be seen in the Ammonite city of Rabbah. Is it just me, or is this sounding more like science fiction than a religious document? Joshua 14:14-15. Hebron still belongs to the descendants of Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, because he wholeheartedly followed the Lord, the God of Israel. Previously Hebron had been called Kiriath Arba. It had been named after Arba, a great hero of the descendants of Anak, and the land had rest from war. And now on to the most famous biblical giant, Goliath, in 1 Samuel 17:4. Then Goliath, a Philistine champion from Gath, came out of the Philistine ranks to face the forces of Israel. He was over 9 feet tall. And then in 2 Samuel 21:15-16, once again the Philistines were at war with Israel, and when David and his men were in the thick of battle, David became weak and exhausted. Ishbi-benob was a descendant of the giants. His bronze spearhead weighed more than 7 pounds, and he was armed with a new sword. He had cornered David and was about to kill him. Then in 1 Chronicles 24, after this, war broke out with the Philistines at Gezer. As they fought, Sibbecai and Hushah killed Saph, a descendant of the giants, and so the Philistines were subdued. On to Isaiah now, Isaiah 18:2, that sends ambassadors in swift boats down the river. Go, swift messengers, take a message to a tall, smooth-skinned people who are feared far and wide for their conquest and destruction, and whose land is divided by rivers. Isaiah 45:14, thus says the Lord, the product of Egypt and the merchandise of Cush and the Sabaeans, men of stature, will come over to you and will be yours. They will walk behind you. They will come over in chains and will bow down to you. They will make supplication to you. Surely God is with you, and there is none else, no other God. If the Bible is to be believed as a historical document, then giants did exist thousands of years ago. Were these giants, these powerful sons of God, aliens, or were they just a different species that died out? It's up to you to make your own decision, and all the evidence you need is right here.